Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So as my title says, I think genuinely that specializations are pretty much going to be better from now on. Hopefully some of the changes that we're seeing here on the PTS rolls into the full game, and I'll give you my reasons why I'm saying that. But before I do, let me first address something that I just think is not necessarily a no-no, and I'm going to start with the bad news first. And it's the gunner specialization, which is right now locked behind a slew of hourly activity. And so if you look at all of this, you have to complete all these little, that's called some kind of field research in order for you to get them. The genuine truth is this is a great idea. The execution is just necessarily not the best right now. The community has been looking for a lot of new content, but for it to be locked behind all these activities doesn't seem necessarily well thought out. So I'm hoping the developers will change this. And my reason is because now, if you look, I've completed the first one actually, but the problem is that took me almost 100 minutes to do. So 100 minutes, I look at it as almost an hour and 50 minutes, somewhere around there. Is that the correct? Is that what it is? Something like that. It's almost 2 hours to do the first one by myself as a solo player. Now, I have to concede that if you do it in a group, it may run faster, it may not run faster, but my only deal is not having the activity at all. Is the activity has to at least be proportional to the activities that we had to do to upgrade the other 3 specializations. If they can find a way to justify that and say, okay, it takes you about this many, hours to unlock a specialization 100%, and that's the same time it has to do this, then gladly so, I'll say this can actually fly, because the season pass holders, they're going to bypass all this stuff, and we don't want any of this to actually cause the community to be in a weird divide, if you understand what I mean. But that aside, when this is sorted out, because I know this can change, that's why I'm not even making an in-depth video on how to actually accomplish any of this, because I feel like when the developers show up in State of the Game, we're probably going to be hearing something different. But that's the bad news aside. And like I said, that can change and be better. So no problem. But here we are with the good stuff. This is the new specialization tree. And I want to credit my buddy Skeptic for saying, hey, open up the specializations and look. And it was the most pleasant surprise that I have seen in video gaming in a long time. So look at this. Do you see a specialization? It has received an overhaul in its look and all that stuff. But most importantly, it has received the ability to upgrade, I think, 2 weapons within the weapon class at a specific period of time. So you're not locked into, in the case of the demolitionist, just the LMG and the submachine gun, but you can use your assault rifle. You can use your, what is this one? This is assault rifle. Yes, you can use your shotgun if you want. You can use your SMG if you want. And by golly, you can use your rifle if you want to do it. You can also use a marksman rifle as well, and you're able to get that increase 15% base damage. This just made my build much more amazing than it already was. I mean, guys and girls, look at this. I already came here and I tossed a bunch of these specialization points into my assault rifle to get a free 15% assault rifle damage on my sharpshooter specialization based build. Now we're talking. So thumbs up to the developers for making us stronger. That is how you do a division game. I don't care about any MMORPGs. I don't care about any other kinds of looter shooters. This is the division. This is the division 2, and this is exactly how you do it. You make the players stronger. You make them be able to do things. Now, build diversity is another question, but at least hopefully we can get to that point and players can feel like they're advancing in their strength, advancing in their progression, and they're able to be more effective on the battlefield. That is eventually the point every player wants to get to, which is just a point of, I've worked hard to get to this point. I ought to be invincible. Forget that crap. Forget that so-called you're going to be too powerful crap. This is PvE. The NPCs have not made a video complaining that we hit too hard, so hence, give us much more damage. We'll take it. This is a good start. And so this is what makes the specializations, in my opinion, much better. Now, the idea behind adding new specializations and adding activities is a great idea. No doubt at all. But I think the developers can do better by making this somewhat measured into how we got these other specializations. Another thing too that my buddy told me about is now the new modding system. So if you look at everything overall, if you look at the generic mods and the way people have been able to farm them and get some generic mods that have huge amounts of damage, based on what I'm hearing, I don't know if it's on the PTS notes or whatever, these generic mods are not going to be able to work on the high-end gear. And if this is the case, I think this is the developer's way of actually leveling that damage loss by some people and bringing some people to enjoy that damage increase, you know, in kind of a synergy, and putting this into specializations. So smart way to execute, and smart way to take care of this problem. And so for those of us who have, you know, played the raid and have seen the difficulty in running a raid with a lot of people who may not necessarily understand all the intricacies of getting their DPS in that sense, you know, it's very difficult, honestly. I genuinely think that they're able to run these missions and you know, and get these specialization points and come in here and get some more damage, because the raid right now is a DPS check. And then finally, in respect to if the developers do not change any of these things, or if they even reduce the quantity, or maybe they shift it back and forth, there will still be centrally something that must be done here for you to achieve the lion. That's what I'm going to be calling this, not the gunner. That's a weak name. The lion. Lion is a stronger name. Simba. And definitely, you know, get this done. Now, when this is rolled out, what I want to say is these activities, they may seem really tasking, but actually when I started to do them, I found out that they were actually slightly interesting, and they require you to have some creativity. And the examples that I'm going to show for this first one that I completed, this one that said shock Roach twice before defeating him in bank headquarters, can only be completed on normal or harder difficulty. All I did was just take shock ammo, shot him once, let him get shocked, and then shot him again. I actually shocked him 4 times. In fact, I made sure that my final bullet was a shock. I shot him with 2 shock bullets. I left his health to be really low, and I just kind of took him out with just a handgun in order to make sure that I met the requirements, because it's kind of vague and you don't really know exactly how that will be executed. Now, another one here that's really funny was Marksman Rescue, which says use only marksman rifles to complete public execution activities. I just took an SVD. It's a marksman rifle. Believe it or not, I thought it was in a rifle class, but then I looked and I was so pleasantly happy that it had a 286 RPM marksman rifle. So I just took that in there and I just went boom, 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 boom. In fact, I actually have a video clip for you guys here to show you exactly. I'm going to mute it, but I just ran into these, you know, spots where they're trying to execute all these folk, and straight up, I just started going crazy and taking out bad guys using my SVD. And you know, it was not even that difficult to do. So based on difficulty, that's not the case. I think it just has to be proportional to how much time it took for the other specializations in order to happen. Don't call me lazy. Don't say, oh, you know, you just want everything so easy. Ladies and gentlemen, I grinded the first one. And if I want to go by that as a solo player, which I think is a good way to measure, because a lot of people will probably be playing solo, their friends are already gone from this game, they just want to stick with it. So if you want to actually evaluate that and see how it works, somebody like me, I think I have the season pass, so I'm probably just gonna get the whole darn thing, if you understand what I mean. So looking at all of that, looking at the way it all is, I think the developers need to address the quantity and the volume of this. And if it is proportional to the others, then fine. If not, then it needs to go. All right, enough ranting for now. This is all I have. When the developers make their decisions, I'll be happy to come back and actually take a deep dive into how to achieve the lion, which is the gunner specialization, and I'm going to be happy to show you guys. So leave questions in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think so far. Nothing is set in stone. It's the PTS, so let's not jump, you know, out of hand and just kind of, you know, watch and see what the developers are doing. I think they are really on a good track right now. They are winning so many brownie points in my book, and I just wanted to say we can give them the benefit of the doubt to make the right choice based on our feedback. All right, I'm out of here. Let me hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.